Okay, so basically the whole point of this movie is that at the 1982 Worldwide Video Arcade Championships, they take like the results or whatever, and they put it in a time capsule and they send it into space, and then aliens find it and they think that it's the Earth wants war, so then they cause like war, and they basically challenge them to a video game fight kind of thing, and they have to win the best of three or whatever. And that's why it's all pixelated, and that's why Pac-Man comes in. And so basically they have to beat the video game, but none of the U.S. soldiers can do it. Adam Sandler and these video game nerds are who save the world, basically. So the finals of this tournament is Donkey Kong, and this guy ends up beating the Adam Sandler's character. But anyway, they pause it. They really show you these two numbers. I mean, they do other ones, but they really pause it and show you these ones right away. And interesting, so 81, 34 years ago. 81 is 34 years ago, 1934, 81 years ago. It all has to do with the Civil War. Yeah, who knows? I've talked about it multiple times. It's been a big number they've actually been showing a lot. Who knows? The 262, I mean, that's just the mirrors. That's 262. I talked about a long time ago about YouTube copyright striking my video on the 262nd day of the year. And then 177 days later, they copyright struck it again. The 177th day is 6/26. And then they copyright struck it again on June, I think, 8th, which is 262 days after the 262nd day. And I just felt like something big was going to happen on 6/26 of this year. And then they legalized gay marriage. So September 19th is the 262nd day, which is 919. And 919 is the 157th prime number. I'm sorry for bombarding you here with numbers, but I'll just pull it up here. So 919 is the 262nd day. 919 is the 157th prime number. And I just talked about all the sixes and the 2 6s, and that number is even 262 that I'm talking about. And June 6th is the 157th day of the year. 6/6, 157th day of the year. It all goes together. It's pretty crazy. So then he loses, and he gets second in Donkey Kong or whatever. Eddie's all sad. And you find out later that the guy was cheating and whatever. But anyway, so he's actually the best at Donkey Kong ever. But his fat friend or whatever comes in and he tells him, you're still going to go to MIT, and then you're going to become a billionaire and maybe marry Olivia Newton-John or something. I mean, are you joking me? So why would he say it? I mean, think about it. Look at this dude. Look at Adam Sandler's character. Does he not look exactly like Jokar or whatever, Sarnev? Look at that. I mean, there to there. I mean, give me a break. He looks just like him. Maybe, that's my personal opinion. He looks exactly like him, though. And then they mentioned Olivia Newton-John. Olivia Newton-John is Sandy on Grease. So they throw in the Sandy Hook, Newton even, Newtown. I mean, they throw in Sandy Hook, then they throw in the Boston bombing. Then Adam Sandler's character says, I was actually thinking Samantha Fox. And Samantha Fox was born on the same day that the Boston bombing happened, and she's 49 years old this year, born in 66. And it's just funny, too, because her last name is Fox, like Michael J. Fox. I've been talking about, since Valentine's Day, there's Michael J. Fox is the wolf. He's the teen wolf. It's all about Lupercalia. There was even that movie with George Clooney, The Fantastic Mr. Fox or something. I did a decode on that, and it was all about Lupercalia and respecting the gray wolf, and so just kind of interesting. And then, they do mention other women and whatnot in this conversation, but the first three things they say is the MIT, then he says Olivia Newton-John, and then he says the Samantha Fox or whatever, and then they say she's no Sheena Easton. I don't know. But just interesting. Them are the first three choices. They couldn't have planned it much better. I'm guessing there's probably some significance to this. I don't see it, I guess. She was born in 1959. It says one of her hits is 9 to 5, and that's all about slavery and whatnot. So interesting. And they actually end it with Madonna. So it's just Sheena Easton and then Madonna. And Madonna is super interesting. Well, for one, she's born on August 16th, the Jam Day and all that. But her name in gematria is 62 and 26. There's been a lot of 62, 26 in this movie. God is also 26. But Madonna, like, I haven't really looked that much into her, but I just made a video not too long ago about the Pope being from Argentina, and he's from the South, so he's a Confederate. And all the San Francisco stuff I'm telling you is about, I really think it's about the Pope coming to America, and I think they might actually assassinate the Pope. And she's in Evita, and it's famous for the song "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina." And you know, if they cry for Argentina, don't cry for me. It's about the Pope being dead, maybe. I found it interesting too. Here it says the plot of this movie is Buenos Aires on July 26th, 1952. And then she plays Eva Perón or whatever, or the film was interrupted when news breaks of, her death. She plays that lady. But, anyway, it says she died at the age of 33. July 26th in this movie, that is when they, I should rewind it. Hold on. The video game competition in this whole movie is based on is on July 26th, 1982, which is 33 years ago. And then this movie, it starts off on July 26, 1952, with the death of Argentina's first lady at the age of 33. I don't know. Pretty weird. It even talks about the 1944 San Juan earthquake. We've talked about earthquake like crazy with all that foreshadowing of San Francisco. Even in this movie, they have that on the cover, and they never once even see the Golden Gate Bridge or even go to San Francisco. Kind of weird. But 1944, Obama's the 44th president. There's a whole bunch of 44 I've talked about, and I've talked about maybe him being assassinated as well. Either or maybe both of them. I'm not for sure. Queen Elizabeth became the queen in 1952 on 2/6 even. She was coronated on 6/2/62 years ago. But like I said, this movie is about Argentina, where the Pope is from, and Argentina's history. I did videos on it where it's a lot to do with 9/23, September 23rd. So just interesting. I'm gonna move on now though. So then they go to the future, and Kevin James, the fat kid, he's now the president of the United States, and Adam Sandler just works some crappy job. He's like like the electronic serviceman guy or whatever. But interesting, the very first thing they show you is that how bad of a president he is, and they show it on the media, and they show him reading to kids. He's reading some book or whatever. That's just like George Bush before 9/11 or whatever, when he was reading the My Pet Goat book, and I've talked about that previously. I think that's what they're trying to do here is they're showing you that. I mean, he's reading to these kids or whatever. So I don't know, pretty funny to me. If you actually know what I'm talking about, it's actually kind of funny because they are definitely taking all these old events and they're squashing them in this movie. And I guess what's so funny is, you know, George Bush is known as being the dumb president, right? He was dumb, blah blah blah. And when Kevin James is reading this book, what they're making fun of him about is he can't read or something. And he said he can't pronounce the word catastrophic. And even a little kid tells him, catastrophic, and they put emphasis on this word, catastrophic or whatever. They do it. There's like 3 or 4 times where they even mention it in the movie, making fun of him about it. But I did the gematria of catastrophic, and it's 133 and 52. Very, very interesting about the Pope being assassinated. Also 52. Pope Francis became Pope on March 13th, which is 13-3 or 313. Also, it was in the year 2013. So 313 of 13 or 13 3 of 13, and then 52 even, a number that has been coded on literally everybody in sports, everything. It's movies. It's been coded like crazy. So catastrophic, something that's catastrophic. Ooh, Pope being assassinated in 133. I don't know. Pretty interesting. Sorry, I just want to clarify. So My Pet Goat, that's what George Bush was reading when right before September 11th happened. He was reading this to a bunch of kids or whatever. But the gematria of My Pet Goat is 122, just like San Francisco. So you have Pac-Man eating the Golden Gate Bridge or San Francisco on this cover. It's not even in the movie. Why does that make sense to have that on the cover? So My Pet Goat 122, San Francisco 122, Pope Francis 122. And May 2nd, like 5/2, is the 122nd day of the year even. And I mean, it is coded so deep with 923. The Pope is coming on 923 to the United States. 5/2, May 2nd, is 144 days before 923. And that number actually comes up later in this movie here. And I might even have to make a whole nother part, most likely. It's 123. 5/2 is 4 months and 9 days before September 11th. And April 9th, which is 4/9, is 5 months and 2 days before September 11th. There is so many significant things dealing with the 52, 49, and the 144. Adam Sandler also wears the orange in this, and he drives the orange car or whatever, and that's really significant. They've been doing this a decent amount lately, like orange is the new black, and they've been doing all these black shootings and just Civil War, domestic violence type themes in the media. This movie also, so when they're old now, it takes place 33 years after the arcade tournament where they shot this stuff off into space or whatever. That's basically the whole plot of this whole movie. It's 33 years later, and orange is even in gematria is a 33 name. So, and then he even tells him he could do better with his life, blah blah blah, and basically what he's doing, it's like being a blacksmith. So I mean, they're definitely running that theme with it. Why else would he call him a blacksmith? A blacksmith. It's just ridiculous. And I'm actually going to end this one right here. I'm just going to make another part because I don't think I can squeeze all this information in 2 more minutes. So anyway, see ya in part 3.